What's up, y'all? Live from the 856. This is channel 856. Back again. This your boy Danny X.
Jared, we here live with y'all, heading into week 6. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We got a lot to discuss, so let's get right to it.
Yes, sir. We are here with another week of football. Week 5 in the books. And, let's get to it. So, as always, you know how we start off everything. Standings are right here. I'm in a lucky spot right now, bro. Like, to be 5th seed with 2-3 record, more points against than 4. To be in a good spot. I'm very thankful. Definitely, I think I mentioned it, but getting wins over Scoop and Evan will try true later down the road. I'm not sure if I have a double with one of them, but having victories over them allows me to sit on top of the tiebreaker, so that's clutch.
Facts.
As you can see, our producer is dominating right now. 645 points, outright points champion. 5-0. Absolutely
100 plus average a week. Sheesh.
Absolute dominance going in the first 5 weeks of the season. Shared with Deuce. Lex is in also 5-0. We have 1-4-1 team with Zaire. 1-3-2 team with Kemis, and then like I said, I'm the top of the 2-3s. There's 5 2-3s, and then 3 1-4s rounding out the league. Unfortunately, one of my co-hosts is one of the 1-4s. Unfortunately, my co-host has the lowest scored points.
I do.
And we'll get into this past week. It's probably one of the more entertaining weeks of the season thus far. But yeah, so that's the standings. We'll do it a little different. We'll go just the standings, and then we'll come back to the game just because of how interesting this week was and some of the matchups that we had. But Jared, anything as far as the standings stick out to you? Obviously, your position, but you know,
not really. I mean, I had a couple of big losses, but I only had one close game, so that's kind of where I'm like, there's a lot of time left, but I don't look at the point stuff this year. Like, I haven't looked at that, so that's why I'm like, oh. That point stuff was a little interesting, seeing where we were scoring the points against and for. But
yeah,
for the most part, everyone looks like they're within range. I mean, Quinn and Alex are definitely leading the way, but Quinn's points, that's what sticks out. It's like, that's ridiculous. Like, yo, 645 in 5 games is like...
What's the math on that?
Over 100 and something. That's what I'm like, yeah. You know,
it's averaging 130.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, okay. So
that's crazy.
That's kind of the first thing.
That's dominance.
Yeah, I'll be honest. For me, the 1-4, it's like it's almost like the first month there wasn't an accomplishment there. It was just like, all right, the first month we gotta get back now. So
I mean, you beat me, and then it was just downhill from there.
Essentially, so.
Unfortunately, but
I'm back trying to get another one this week. So.
All good, man. We gonna get right. Everybody gotta get right on the pod.
Not everybody. I'm trying to get mine though.
So back to the week in NFL, week 5. Started off with the Niners-Rams. Niners getting a win in overtime at LA. Big NFC West dub for them. Raiders got pumped by the Colts, 40-6. Pause. Sorry. We got blown out by the Colts, 40-6. Vikings got a win over the Browns in London. Texans won big over the Ravens. I think that was one of the hot takes we were talking about. Just seeing like if Texans are gonna win or is Cooper Rush gonna be able to get them a win there. So Texans 44-10 over the Ravens. Saints over the Giants. Broncos probably the biggest win of the week at Philly, 21-17. Cowboys dominant over the Jets. Another blowout win for both of our opponents that the Raiders and Jets are facing.
I think it was 30-6 heading in the 4th.
Yeah, it's bad.
30-6.
The Panthers got a home victory against the Dolphins, which I thought was one of the more entertaining games of the week. Along with the Buccaneers getting a big dub over in Seattle. That game was insane. Emeka Egbuka's
Rookie of the Year
overnight superstar. Titans with a silly win on the road at Arizona. DeMarcado just run across the plane. Chargers lose big at home to Washington. Lions big over the Bengals. Patriots upset the Bills on Sunday night, and then the Jags upset the Chiefs on Monday night. So a lot of big upset victories. I mean, I don't think anybody was expecting Ravens to be 1-4. You know, teams like the Patriots are 3-2, Bengals are 2-3. Jacksonville's 4-1, Colts are 4-1.
Colts are 4-1 strong. Jacksonville's I didn't realize they were 4-1.
Yeah, so Niners are 4-1. I don't think people expected that with their litany of injuries. So, week 5, what were you tapped into? Obviously, you're watching your players, but anything stick out for you? For me, I would say, I didn't expect the Texans to be that dominant. I mean, I know the Ravens' defense is hurt and all that, but I didn't expect them to be that dominant. So I would say that's probably the biggest surprise for me. Broncos' defense doesn't surprise me as much just because their defense is stout. So any games you were keyed in on watching, caught your eye? Any big highlights of the week?
I thought the Thursday night started off pretty good. The overtime was always fun to see. Sunday morning, I kind of actually forgot about it. Not even going to lie, I forgot about that. But I was in New York Sunday. Me and my uncle watched the Jets Cowboys. Didn't see much fight from the Jets, so quickly kind of pivoted. I was watching a lot of that Eagles and Broncos. That was a crazy game. Yeah. I didn't think the Eagles. Honestly thought the Eagles were about to come back at the end. I really thought, I was like, yo, they about to catch something crazy, pass in the end zone. But that was a good game to watch. I started watching some of the Bengals and Lions a little bit, but then I had to drive home Sunday night. But I did see the Sunday night game for the most part. I saw the Monday night game. I liked seeing the Bills lose. I thought Diggs having a revenge game. That was pretty nice to see.
Yeah, had the NBA YoungBoy blasting in the visitors' locker room.
That was smooth.
Definitely a good look for him. Came out.
Energy.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, good week of football again in the books.
I think the Bucks and Seahawks definitely though. I saw the highlights. That game looked lit.
Crazy game. Yeah, I think there was one. What game was it? It was Titans Cardinals. I think there was an interception.
He fumbled.
And on the way of getting the interception, he wasn't touched and somersaulted, fumbled the ball in that process. Ball lands into the end zone, back on the Titans, in the Titans end zone, recovered by a Titan for a touchdown. That play was insane. And then, Jamar Chase's his big touchdown. I mean, that was pretty. No, the first touchdown when Jake Brown put on a dot in the back corner of the end zone. That was probably 2 plays that stood out to me. Yankees about to start. Go Yankees. Hopefully, by the time this is out, we're still alive playing baseball. We could be done tonight, but we'll see. But yeah, no, that's week 5 in the books. Week 6 coming in fast, hot and ready, like Little Caesars, you know what I'm saying? It's the Eagles-Giants on Thursday. So yeah, we're back to it. So the reason why I kind of did a little bit of a backtrack as far as the league, because so we had probably the biggest trade of the league.
Probably?
Nah, I'm trying to think of all times. It's probably the biggest trade in our league's history. Quinn, I will have you show it right here. Great. Awesome.
You gotta show more though. You gotta scroll.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You gotta scroll
yeah.
That's the whole trade for sure.
So this trade right here broke the league. Happened on, what was that, last Wednesday, 2:30?
Wednesday, yeah, yep.
Yep, Wednesday, 2:30. So, yeah. So Vern and Alex made a trade. Foom and Deuce. All right. So Vern sent the Buffalo Bills defense, Derrick Henry, Nico Collins, Jalen Waddle, C.J. Stroud to receive back from Alex Sam Darnold, DeAndre Swift, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Wild Bill. And in that process, Alex had to drop the Dolphins defense. I'm very indifferent about the trade as far as like this and that and that and this. So for me, it was two things. It was the magnitude of the players in the trade, and then it was just how fast it got. And I'll let my co-host get into that a little bit. But all right, we are back. Okay, so sorry about that. So y'all saw the trade and everything, right? So I'll tell you that from my vantage point, right? Minding my business, Wednesday afternoon, the trade has been accepted, view now, okay? You view it, obviously, it's a lot to view. You got to scroll to see the whole trade. So then I'm like, all right, this is the point where usually, all right, so let me backtrack a little bit more, actually. So the co-commissioners are my co-host, Jared, and Quinn. They are both commissioners, two commissioners that have all the, well, Quinn has the most power, and then
Right.
and then Jared has co-commissioner power. So he doesn't have every liberty that Quinn has, but he has half of them, 60, 70% of them. So he still has a good amount of power. The power that they both share is the ability to accept trades. So this trade was proposed, set, and accepted very fast, and there's nothing wrong with that. But as usually as trades get accepted in our league, there's usually a big ass Instagram live, like not live Instagram chat call, just get with everybody's reactions. So in this finding, my co-host admitted outwardly that he accepted the trade because he saw it as a easy dub to beat Vern in the league this week, because he was playing Vern.
Sure.
He was playing Vern. He saw him losing all those players. He was like, "Oh, I'm not going to waste no time. I'm pushing this through because this will benefit me. This will guarantee me a dub."
Yes.
So, obviously, big red flag. Should not be a commissioner doing those things. That is crazy. That is unethical. You're supposed to be running this league. You're not supposed to be going week to week to be for your personal gain. So, obviously, we let Jared hear about that all week. We had court, or if you would, just like talking about it, talking through it. And then the second piece for me was just like, I still don't get why Vern let Jalen Waddle go. I think that tips the trade over. It makes it a little unfair. Obviously, he just came into some number one wide receiver reps and targets. So that was the second thing, is just like, why isn't an undefeated team bleeding more? So that was the two things for me, from my vantage point. I'm going to let my co-host talk about his vantage point.
And my point of view of the trade, y'all, I am a co-commissioner, or was co-commissioner, so I'm thinking in my head, okay, the person I'm playing this week is kind of like giving themselves lesser, weakening themselves, right, versus me.
Yeah.
And then the competitor to me said, okay, it was like that Jordan meme moment. My mind was like, okay, like, I'm going to take this personal. Like, the player that you're getting back for trading Derrick Henry, especially to a 5-0 team, you're not even able to use. DeAndre Swift, honestly, he's a good player, cool. But, like, it felt like you were fielding a B team versus me, and that's the part I'm like, oh, nah, like, it's not that sweet. It did end up being sweet, but it was, like, in my mind, that's kind of where I was coming. I was like, okay, if this works to my benefit because you're willing to do this, okay, let's do it. Because, unfortunately, like I said, like, we have that understanding, at least, that once the trades are accepted, unless it's egregious, if it's something crazy, cool. But I think for this one, it was a little lopsided when it came to the Jalen Waddle, where it's like, okay, you just got this player. You seen Tyreek's about to be out for the year. You seen what kind of like the standings of the team. You could have either maybe left him out of it, or maybe did a little bit of difference.
Right.
But for the most part, if you ask me which side would I have been on, oh yeah, I would have decided Nico, Jalen Waddle, all them other dudes.
Yeah.
But hey, it ended up working out for both parties. So far, so good.
Hey, man. So there was a contingency of, like, there's people in the league that are like, yo, like, Jared did that, just sent the trade for that, and then just for personal gain, and then, like, is there, like, back channel collusion? Like, if I had never heard the word collusion so much in the best of 2 hours, it was hilarious. Like, I had to put the Webster's definition in the group chat. Chris and Quinn was arguing about what definition of collusion is the one we're referring to. It was hilarious. But yeah, no. So yeah, there was a side on that side, just like the collusion aspect of it, and then there was a side of like you can trade whoever you want for whoever you want, and that's what I can do with my team. So there was always like the limbo of like obviously you have all autonomy over your team, but also just like the integrity of the league. We've been doing this 10+ years. We grow men, blah 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 blah. So trade stood. The trade has stands, and obviously we played the week of games. So my game, I lost by a little over 7 points. Just made a bad decision with my flex. Started Chris Godwin over Devontae Smith. Two teams with good secondaries, but Devontae Smith wound up having like 10 plus catches, 100 plus yards. So that was ultimately the decision maker for my game because Brenton Strange wound up getting hurt, so he only put up 2.7 points. So I definitely would have had a lead, and I would have kept the lead. Unfortunately, 2-3, as we talked about. Evan with a big win over Chris, 135 to 122. Rico Dowdle with a 30-piece. Justin Fields with a 30-piece.
Waiver wire of the week. Rico Dowdle. Last week was you with Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah, Rico Dowdle for sure. Waiver wire of the week with 30 points. Justin Fields with 30 points, and then Rashid Shaheed, 20 points. Somebody that we talked about in waivers as well last week. Who wound up having a really good game. And then Chris, McCaffrey and Javonte Williams might be the best duo in the league besides Quinn, Kyron, and Bijan. Just performing very well. That trio, along with including Josh Allen, is leading his team, and I'm the lucky person to face him this week. Quinn, big 157 over Kemis, 36 from Prescott, 27 from Kyron, another 27 from Egbuka, 20 from Jake Ferguson. I told Quinn his kicker was going to get 10 plus again. Caleb McLaughlin with 12 again. George Pickens in the end zone. The Juckins score, or was it just a lot of volume?
Got called back.
Okay, so 13 on volume is even better. It's 157, just hitting on all cylinders. Yeah, he's dominating. We just talked about it. So, but to the next game. So we did all this talking about Vern folding. His team is folding. This is a B team. This is not the team that everybody was like, oh, so. And then we looked at some things too, like the points value was higher, right? So the players that Alex received had a lesser point value than the players that Vern received. So they were obviously putting out. So. Vern hung 161 points on my co-host with this B team that he's supposed to get the guaranteed win. 161 points. Sam Darnold 35, Kareem Hunt 18, Jackson Smith and Jigba 23, Sam Laporta 17, Krosky Merritt 26, Saints defense 18. Just leading the way. I believe that is let me check the league Hall of Fame. That might be the biggest point output so far this year. Not the biggest in history, but 161 leading the way for the current year with the biggest point output. So, yeah. What's I'm trying to think of the cliche. The chickens came home to roost, I guess.
Sort of. I mean, he could beat everybody this week. That's why I'm like...
So
it's just karma though
karma. That's definitely what it is for sure.
He had the highest scoring week. I mean, everyone turned up. Like it was a fight, and then until it turned into 3 touchdowns in 2 minutes. It was JCM had a long it was maybe 14 yards. Mm-hmm. Then Jigba touchdown, so it was Darnold and Jigba, JCM, and that was after I think Laporta and somebody else had just scored.
And the scoop and score from the Saints defense.
I'm talking about the 4 o'clock.
Oh, the 4 o'clock. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm talking about the 4 o'clock games. It was really a wave. Like it turned up. Like I was like, yo, it was like 3-4 touchdowns. Like boom. I was like, damn. But other than that, he kicked up. Vern definitely did. So I owe him some PJs.
Yeah, got treating him to some PJs after we record. Honestly, so shout out to PJs. Taylor Swift, a.k.a. Lex Deuce, a.k.a. Lex, a.k.a. Alex, a.k.a. he talks too much in the chat, a.k.a. 137 to 95. I wonder if he's going to see that in the episode. We'll see if he watches the episode. I'm sure he'll have something to say to me. But 137 to 95 over CP. Pat Mahomes, 28. Jonathan Taylor, 30-piece. Jalen Waddle, 20. Nico, 14. Travis Kelce, 15. So his new additions also served him well. So he was able to get the dub there. And that, last but not least, I don't even think. So wait, you lost by 50. Keemus lost by 55. And Zaire lost by.
Zaire won.
Zaire won by. Zaire won by 52. So this week's dog walk of the week will be you, Mr. Keemus. Sorry, buddy, lost by 55.
I consider all three of us in the same boat.
Yeah,
yo. Like, man, no.
Scoop lost by 52. So 3 50-point drubbings in the league is crazy. So yes, you are correct. Scoop, Jared, and Keevis, triple dog walk discount of the week. That's horrible. I don't think I've ever seen 3 50-point blowouts in 1 week of fantasy. So that is, I'm sorry, y'all are on the wrong side of League of King history, but had to be somebody. So hey, I can't be talking because I could easily lose like that this week. Anyway. So, on to the next part of our program. Yankees got 2 on, 2 out, stands up. Okay. Waiver wire. Jared, if you don't mind, my good friend, kick us off with the waiver wire. Who should people be picking up? Who should we be looking at heading into week number 6?
I'm going to start with the QBs. I got, truthfully, in a lot of competitive leagues, the secret's out, right? Daniel Jones is probably picked up. Darnold was picked up. Stafford's probably picked up.
Yep.
Especially last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
With bye weeks coming up, I could see taking a chance on Tua versus the Chargers. They did just lose kind of back-to-back weeks. That defense lost, I think, Khalil Mack and maybe another couple pieces I might have saw. Another O-line's a little bit banged up, so I think Tua could have a shot at maybe having a nice day off the waiver wire. Penix, Dart, but I'd preferably maybe Tua would be a week I try to see if I can take advantage of that Chargers defense. Might be a little shootout there.
Absolutely. Jay Dart's playing well enough. Penix coming off the bye, had a good week before the bye, so should be interesting. Tua's playing pretty solid as well. So, like you said, some of these players are probably not on bye at this point. If you're a victim of injury or just early bye, but keep an eye on them. They're playing well. Moving on to running backs, obviously, people who are taking the reaping the benefits, if you will, of people being injured. So just to start off with a couple obvious ones, you got Bucky Irving out, so obviously you look towards Rashad White. Chuba Hubbard is out, so you look towards Rico Dowdle. There's a carousel of injuries in Arizona, right? You got Trey Benson, James Conner out for the year, Trey Benson on IR. I would say lean towards Michael Carter versus Amari DiMercado. Obviously, after, I'm sure everybody, that was probably the third most craziest play, just 72-yard rushing touchdown, let it go over the plane. I just don't get why millionaires are so in the rush to celebrate. Just get over the plane, do your job. But anyway, so look towards Michael Carter over DiMercado, I would say. Probably lost a lot of trust. They fined John Gannon 100 racks for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't do certain stuff and that's like if your teacher were to hit your kid in that. Like back in Catholic school, that was allowed.
That's
you know
fair.
What I'm saying?
That's fair. That's a good
now
analogy.
you'd go to jail for sure. So it's
especially in this
social media,
very sensitive culture.
They surprised they don't do no I won't say domestic violence, but some kind of violence
sensitivity.
What they could easily spend that.
Yeah, no, for sure. 100 racks.
Yo, just $100,000. Your kid's college tuition, please.
Yeah,
seriously.
Jerry Jones $250,000 for the middle finger too. By the way,
$250,000.
Nothing for left pocket, but
it's like a vacation. Possibly,
yeah, but $250,000 on that as well. While we're on the topic of fines, but and then Kareem Hunt. It's pretty. I would say it's like 55-45, 60-40 with him and Pacheco, but Kareem Hunt is obviously the 60 to 55. He's getting those touchdowns to accompany it. Kendre Miller, been a good offset to Alvin Kamara. Spencer Rattler's playing enough where the run game is still pretty solid. He gets a good amount of touches. Obviously, when you use AK, use him in bunches, run, short pass. He runs a lot of plays out of the backfield. So Kendrick Miller's a good offset because he gets to work. Yeah, and then obviously another injury in Jalen Warren. Keep looking at Kenneth Gainwell. Still an option to play. RJ Harvey. It's a little up and down, but if you need a streamer, look that way. And then Vidal and Haskins. I apologize, but Vidal and Haskins, they're both going to be splitting carries for Omarion Hampton. So look forward to them having an uptick in production for this upcoming week. I'll kick it back to you for wideouts.
Wideouts, I gotta say I have only a favorite. The Bull Thornton off Kansas City seems like he's been shining. Definitely looks like he's got a connection with Pat Mahomes, and I figure if you need a flex, he's definitely someone you can plug in there. Like I said, he plays with Pat Mahomes. So
let me ask you real quick, not to cut you off. Do you think that's more of like a Xavier Worthy-ish relationship? Is it a Rashee Rice type relationship? Like, who do you think he's kind of filling in for?
Well, I think definitely it's get it while you can, though, because Rashee Rice is about to come back, I think, week 7. So it's definitely, you have a very limited role right now, but he could be someone you just have to hold and see if he can continue to do that when Rashee Rice comes back.
Yep.
But for the time being, if you need something now, if you need something now, like injuries or something too, yeah, he's a flex.
Yep, 100%. So, go ahead. Continue, man. Absolutely.
Denver's receivers, I think Cortland Sutton probably, he should see a Sauce Gardner shadow. That doesn't mean much, but he should. But that just could mean the secondary receivers might have uptick in that game. Brandon Stevens is god-awful, so Marvin Mims Jr., Troy Franklin definitely could be someone, again, late injury in the week. Anything can happen. Bye weeks, definitely could consider for a flex. Texans receivers, I figured they were going to have a big day versus the Ravens corners who were banged up.
Yeah.
So, again, could just stash and hold, see if they can kind of grow on that. Torrey Holton, I believe he's from the Seahawks. I think his name's Torrey or Troy. Torrey or Troy.
Torrey Horton, I believe.
I'll be honest, I like him. A couple games, touchdown. Definitely has like the return ability, so you could have like a miscellaneous touchdown if you ever started him.
Absolutely.
Romeo Dobbs, they're playing the Bengals, and right before bye, you saw how he was using the red zone. So I definitely think if you can get him, fire him up in your lineup, it's a strong flex. Super.
100%. And I was watching the Bucs Seattle game, and they were saying how they were okay with trading DK because they see that leadership in JSN, and he kind of had that similar role when he was at Ohio State with obviously a loaded wide receiver room like with Olave, G5, Marvin Harrison Jr., all studs in the league right now. So they were comfortable with making JSN the number 1. But I say that to say because I think when Horton scored, they did like a tough selly, so you can kind of see that JSN's taking that role and being the top guy over there, and Horton's proven it with his play. So shout out to Seattle, one of the good stories in the league right now going. But to tight ends, I feel like this is a heavy. We were talking about it outside before we came in to record. Heavy value in the position right now. Obviously, if Darren Waller's not picked up in your league, go get Darren Waller. He's looking like he plays for the Silver and Black about 5-6 years ago. Didn't skip a beat. Looks very much in shape. Playing really well. Being super athletic. You got Barner up in Seattle. Playing really good. Has a connection with Sam Darnold. No, nothing flashy. Just a good old regular tight end that capable of producing. So,
So he's a Toyota Corolla?
Yeah, it was literally a Toyota Corolla tight end. Like, that's literally what he is.
Yeah.
Like, just serviceable, right? Like, probably 100,000 miles. Like, you know what I mean? Like, get your oil changes. It'll just work just fine. Mason Taylor, the Jets, clear-cut number 2 in targets, clear-cut number 2 in receptions, clear-cut number 2 in yards to G5, despite win or loss, unfortunately, respectfully as well. He gets looks. He gets volume. I'm sure as a Jets fan you can say that from watching the games. He's very much a big target. Definitely got that athleticism from his pops. Jason, one of the better edge rushers. Or I don't remember if he's a tackle or edge, but one of the better defensive linemen of our generation. So he's playing really well. Brenton Strange, I see you have on here, but he did pick up a knock. He left the game injured, so
he's on IR now. I just saw him. I was driving here. Matter of fact,
that's 4 weeks. 4 weeks out from Brenton Strange, so keep an eye out on that.
Probably go without him.
Yeah, take that off. Gatson and Taysom Hill. I'm sure the Taysom Hill work is gonna get ramped up. Definitely somebody to stash coming off of IR though. Yeah, I'm sure his usage will ramp up in the forthcoming weeks as the Saints look to stay competitive. So I'll kick it back over to you for the place kickers. Yeah,
I see what you're going for. I like the Commanders. Hopefully, get McLaurin back. I think the offense can score a little bit more, obviously, with more of their starters back in. So I'm liking, hopefully, versus the Bears, Matt Gay, kicker. The Ravens defense debacle. I called C.J. Stroud top 8 last week.
You did.
It was a bold prediction.
For sure.
I think the Rams will have plenty of scoring opportunities. And even if they take the foot off the gas, the kicker, Cardi, I think he'll be smooth. Jacksonville's kicker, Little, they play kind of conservative. Jacksonville, they're very inefficient sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of penalties kind of move them out of scoring range or kind of give them that edge. So I think the kicker will be involved this week versus Seattle. Joey Sly, he's definitely a top kicker. Just how bad the Tennessee offense is. They don't score a lot of touchdowns, so every point matters with them. And then McManus, they're playing the Bengals this week. He's coming off bye, so sneak peek, he might be on my team again after the waivers in the morning. But
100%.
Definitely Packers, they score a lot, so you should have some opportunities to put in some points.
100%. As far as defenses, you got Washington. Washington is playing
Bears.
The Bears, sorry, excuse me. Washington has the Bears. So that's definitely someone you could look at. Obviously, it's not something you run to. Caleb Williams has the opportunity to make a game a shootout, which tends to lower the defensive points because obviously it relies heavily on points allowed, which is something that on sidebar I wish they tampered with defenses a little bit. I hate how it relies so heavy on, like, I think it's that 10th to 14th point margin where you literally just go from like 10 to 4 and then you're just fighting back the whole time. Anyway, definitely a team to look at though. Going back home, Monday Night Football, favored 4.5 early. Could be a good matchup. Obviously, Caleb Williams is not the greatest road quarterback, so we'll see how he does. Los Angeles Rams. Rams are going to the Ravens. Obviously, you saw they were only able to put 10 points up at home with Cooper Rush. So look for the Rams to jump on the Ravens and make it a high-pressure game. Rams favored 7.5 on a Tuesday. Vegas is expecting them to cook Baltimore. And then last but not least, we have the Patriots defense, who obviously showed tried and true against Buffalo. So you have them. They are playing the Saints down in NOLA. The Aints in NOLA. So they're 3-2, like I mentioned. One of the better stories happening in the league right now. So going really well. But that wraps up our Week 6 waiver wires. But before that, before you go into your bold predictions for this week, I want to go and give you some props for last week. So, Jared, C.J. Stroud finishes as a top 8 quarterback. That happened.
Definitely had that. I had Jake Ferguson will be a top 5 tight end versus the Jets. Shocker. Had that.
Yep.
I didn't have Michael Pittman. I said 100-plus yards. He had 44 and a touchdown, so I thought he was going to be like a top 12 receiver on the week. Was not close to that. He did score, but he had a pretty modest day. It was more so a Jonathan Taylor day.
Absolutely.
So that was a miss. I would say I came close. Gibbs and Monty, both top 15 running backs on the week. I had to look at Gibbs, but his points, if you know off the top of the hand, how many did he have? Monty snapped. Monty had about almost a 20-point game.
Monty in our league is owned by Scoop.
No, I just grabbed Monty.
That's right.
That same day, matter of fact, that other trade. But I think Monty was RB8 when I was looking at my
19.7.
Yeah, I was looking at my what's her name? The matchup recap. It tells you like what
Gibbs have 15.7.
I would just have to see what 15.7 is on the week. Who has Gibbs? Steen, right? Really quick, I apologize, Pod. I'm taking really long to get here. Um, but yeah, I think it's just outside of top 15 with 15. But he's borderline. I thought the both line running backs would have good weeks. They scored both of them, so 3 touchdowns between the two. So that one was a partial miss. And then I said the Lions defense would go back-to-back weeks as his top defensive or DST. They did not. They were not the top DST. The Saints clearly, I think the Saints were. But yeah, the Lions, they had a strong effort versus the Bengals. But a little garbage time there.
Oh, for sure, for sure. But yeah, all right. Let's hear what you got for your bold predictions for week 6.
Week 6, bold predictions. I'm going to stick with Matt Stafford. This is actually more so picking on the Ravens. Ravens, I just saw C.J. Stroud walk into their trap and take over the trap. So I'm going to say Matt Stafford, Puka, Devontae, Sean McVay, even Kyron. I mean, Kyron's a pretty good receiver.
Yeah.
I think Stafford has another 3-touchdown game in 3 straight games. Shout out to the Ravens practice squad defense. But unfortunately, I think it could be a long day for them this week. I got Bo Nix finishing as a top 10 quarterback this week. Not as spicy, but again, I'm just going to pick on the Jets this week. Their defense is absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. So if you have any pieces of the Broncos offense, I definitely think this is a week you fit them in your lineup.
Nebo.
For sure. He'll be, trust me, scrambling. We don't generate pass rush. We don't stop the run well. Our corners are very suspect in coverage, and then we get penalties all over the field. So, trust me, the drives will be all over the field, Sunday morning. And then Rico Dowdle, revenge game versus Dallas. I think what we all saw last week, definitely like waiver wire hero of the week.
208 yards.
Yeah, so fire him back up. I think this is a top 15 game for Rico Dowdle. I think he, unfortunately, Chuba Hubbard probably misses. His window's probably closing for Rico Dowdle to kind of get these starts in. So I think Rico Dowdle knows it's a week there. This is probably the game he's wanted most on the season. So I got him having a big day. Top 15 on the week, running back.
All right, awesome. Sounds good. How we doing on time, Q? Gucci? All right, so as you know, we got positional rankings, and then we'll do guess the player, and then we will get up out of here. But first, while I have your attention, I just need to say something, and this will go where it needs to go. Listen, for the giveaway, comment below this video if you would like to enter yourself in. Long story short, we can't see all of our subscriber count. Some of you guys have private pages, perfectly fine. So we can't see the whole subscriber count. So what we need for you to do is, if you would like to, and we'll post this on our pages on Instagram and as well. If you would like to be a part of this contest and giveaway for the hats, comment on my page, comment on Jared's page, comment on the YouTube, and we will make sure you're entered. Next week we are spinning the wheel. If you are not in by next week's recording, it'll be this time next week. We record on Tuesdays. So if you're not in by Tuesday the 14th, October 14th, by around like 5 o'clock, is a wraps. It'll be shut down. We will be drawing on the next episode for the hat winners. Then we'll reach out to the hat winners, pick a hat out, send it over, blah, blah, blah. So, got it? Good. We'll make sure you guys have that information on your socials as well. But yeah, had to take time to say that. Awesome. Let's roll right into the rankings. Week 6 rankings. We will not go into, obviously, you know your hitters, play your hitters. Quarterbacks, you know who they are. Running backs, wide receivers, you know who they are. So we'll focus more on the people that you might not be expecting, maybe the matchups that are sticking out. But Jared, do you want to start off, or you want me to go first?
I can start on quarterback.
All right, sounds good.
Couple of sleepers I really like this week. I did mention Stafford. I don't think he's a sleeper. Jordan Love, I think, coming off a bye, can have a big week versus the Bengals. Bo Nix is someone. I know he had a shaky start to the season. Again, can come out swinging. Kind of shaky, though, on Justin Fields versus Denver. I think Pat Surtain shuts down our G5, so I think our passing game is going to be severely affected. I don't know what we're going to do to opposite of that. Maybe Mason Taylor has a bigger game, but I'm worried about Fields. I'm not looking to play if I had Aaron Rodgers versus the Browns defense. He's very immobile, so Good luck. Tua and Trevor Lawrence are borderline QBs I'd start this week. If I had a better option, I'd look forward to maybe going elsewhere. But Tua is someone I can definitely see though versus the Chargers. Him and Herbert, I feel like they go at it a little bit with that draft position talk.
100%.
So I think he'll come up for that game. It's just they're down Tyreek, so maybe Waller shows up again.
Absolutely.
Running backs is all you though.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely keep an eye on, like I say, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. One person, to keep an eye on your superstars, but one person that I'm looking at that keeps, someone we were just talking about, like two complementary backs that still make their way for their team, and that's Zach Charbonnet and that's David Montgomery. Both of these guys know their roles. They're number twos, but when they get the ball and they make something do. They both score. They both have a good amount of touchdown volume, just as much as their counterparts. So those guys definitely starts. Might be matchup immune. Usually RB2s are matchup contingent, but I think they're starting to be matchup immune playing against certain teams. Rico Dowdle, to Jared's point in his bold prediction, he's going back to the team that drafted him. Be aware of a revenge game, especially after he put up 250 plus all-purpose yards. It's not Barry Sanders, it's Rico Dowdle. So make sure you guys keep an eye out on him. Rashad White, as long as Bucky Irving is out, he ran the ball really well, caught the ball really well last week. 2 touchdowns, correct, Rashad White? 2 touchdowns. So played really well. And maybe a guy like Tony Pollard. You saw Jonathan Taylor just ran on the Raiders for 3 touchdowns, 100-plus yards. So wouldn't be surprised if Tony Pollard has one of his better games of the season. So as always, play your workhorses. Lean towards Travion Henderson. Antonio Gibson actually just got ruled out. I'm not sure which of his ligaments. I want to say it was his ACL, but he is out for the season. So look his way, and always keep Kamara on the board too. One of the Saints' focal pieces. So pump the brakes though. Judkins, Derrick Henry even though you would think he would be like the nucleus of the offense. Kind of tough for him to go when Cooper Rush can't really get the offense going with the pass. Breece Hall, kind of a similar situation, just with stalls. It's tough for him to get going. He did have a good game last week, but with the Broncos coming in, Nick Bonito, that front seven, very dangerous. So probably will be looking to slow him down a lot. Eagles coming in to the Giants to play Thursday Night Football at MetLife. So be aware of the Scat Pack, Can Scataboo. It wasn't the gloves, bro, by the way. It was not the gloves. But be aware of Cam Scataboo facing another dangerous Eagles front seven. So those are a couple pump the brakes running backs, along with guys like Warren, still nursing an injury, Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt. You never know when where that value and where those reps are going to go. So, just be wary of those guys, but play your hitters. On to wide receivers.
Definitely, like we said, start your guys. Definitely this week, I'm higher on Cortland Sutton. I think the Sauce Gardner shadow is very overhyped. He's someone might look at on paper a little worried, but I'd say fire him up still with confidence. Same thing as George Pickens, a tougher matchup. Carolina, they got J.C. Horn over there. He plays good corner, but George Pickens has showed me he can go up top on the defense. It takes a play. So he can get loose. Jalen Waddle is someone too versus the Chargers defense who's been pretty shaky last couple weeks. I'd fire him up with confidence. You might see the San Francisco receivers back, so you can see Pearsall or Juwan Jennings making a start. I believe they have 49ers have don't even tell me, they have the Bucks.
Yep, got the Bucks.
Yeah, so I'd start them against the Bucks defense. And I'm higher on for me, hopefully McLaurin can come back and make some noise back from his injury, but hopefully he can have a bounce back. Diggs could keep the momentum going.
Absolutely.
Not high on Garrett Wilson, the Surtain shadow. I can see him having one of his lowest outputs of the season. This one's a tough one. Flacco in a short week with the Cincinnati receivers. I'm not sure how much I like that. I'd personally get away with that. I want to see it first before I stuff them in my lineup.
Packers are favorite 2 touchdowns on Tuesday.
Yeah, and it's the Packers defense. They can just get to Flacco all day. He won't even get the ball out. So,
Right.
Zay Flowers with Cooper Rush at quarterback. I'm not into DK Metcalf this week with Denzel Ward shadowing. Saints, they're playing the Patriots, so Chris Olave will see Chris Gonzalez. I'm not a fan of that. Giants receivers versus the Eagles secondary, not looking there. And me personally, the Eagles receivers, I know they got a good matchup, but I get away. I'm not touching them until I can see. I know they just had a good game last weekend, but it's one this, one that, misplay. I go away.
They scheme different to every team.
And they just lost Landon Dickerson too, so like their offensive lines are playing pretty terrible.
Absolutely.
Compared to last year, at least. But
No, 100%.
they might surprise, but if I had a better option, I wouldn't feel bad. That's what I'm saying. When you said I made the flex decision versus Denver, like I don't think that's a terrible move. But
No, not at all.
But yeah, tight end. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Tight ends, Dalton Kincaid, someone that stuck out to me. When he's healthy, him and Josh Allen, like that's a connection, right? He makes sure he gets him the ball. He will always get his receptions to play, so he's someone I would look at as far as stick out pieces on the waivers. Jake Ferguson is definitely playing his way into a perennial top 5 tight end. No ifs, ands, or buts. Oh, Quinn, you can. There's that chair if you want to. But Dalton Kincaid definitely a hitter right now. Darren Waller a hitter. Hunter Henry had a bit of a down week, but I think that's just a tough nose. Game against Buffalo, and I think obviously the game plan was to get Stephon Diggs the ball, saw his uptick in targets, so understandably so. Like I said earlier, Mason Taylor always has a role in the Jets offense currently, despite the success. Kyle Pitts, he's playing really well with Michael Penix. They have a good relationship, so he's someone that you should definitely look at. Monitor Brock Bowers. My boy should be back soon. PCL. Hopefully he gets a couple weeks off. Michael Mayer can right the ship, but Geno Smith is absolutely horrible, so doesn't matter either way. Pump the brakes on the Cleveland tight ends. Harold Fannin Jr., David Njoku. They both scored last week. That might not always be the case where they're both 10+, so don't always bank on that. The Pittsburgh tight ends, Freiermuth. Jonnu Smith. You never know which way they're leaning as well. So you don't want to make the risk, and then you get the tight end that has 2.7 points. And then if Lamar is out, probably lean away from Mark Andrews. It's not the brightest play. Cooper Rush is having a tough time enough. So I wouldn't reach as far as a tight end, especially if he can't get the ball to his wide receivers. Any kickers that you are looking at? Anybody? I know Buffalo's in the dome, and they're usually not. So any kickers that you got your eye on?
Improvement for this week, sleeper maybe Will Lutz versus the Jets. Cardi versus the Texans. I definitely think he can have a bigger game. Joey Sly versus the Raiders. The Bucks are just a humming offense, so you want pieces of them. I think the Packers, anything with them this week should be good versus Cincy. Matt Gay. I think Dicker could have a good week too.
At Miami?
Yeah. Jason Myers, I know he missed a kick this week, but versus the Jaguars, another one. And the kid Little, him and Elliott.
Cam
Little and Jake Elliott, I think they can also have weeks where you're like, double digits, kind of surprising, but.
Yep,
Yeah.
Especially with Seattle going into Jacksonville, it might stop them from advancing up the field.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
We got defenses left. What you think?
Defenses. I saw you got Green Bay here projecting Browning to start. I don't think that even changes with Flacco. Tough nose defense coming off a bye, well rested. Definitely someone to stream. You got the Broncos as well, who are
Jets in London.
Got the Jets in London, so. Stream that. As you can see, that their defense is able to win them a game, a la Philly last week. Los Angeles, like we just talked about, Cooper Rush, no brainer at the moment. As bad as he's playing, New England on the road, down in NOLA, something to consider. Consider how they took it to the Bills last week. So, Who else? Who else? Who else? Probably, depending how bad the Raiders are, might be able to string the Titans defense, but they just are a bad team as overall. I don't advise
Yeah.
it, but if you're going for the home run play with the two bad teams being bad, you could play one of those defenses. But I have a feeling that the Raiders will show up and handle business. Titans suck. We're not that bad, at least I don't think so. And then, as far as the Colts go, you might have to just fire them up. They got Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. So, I mean, they were gifted a win last week. I don't think a defense like the Colts will be letting that fly. So, keep an eye on those defenses. Keep an eye on defenses like Buffalo, who will be in a dome and have, get the opportunity to play outside of that cold weather they get in New York. Same thing with the Patriots playing in that brutal New England weather. They're down in New Orleans. So, yeah, keep an eye on those type of moves. But that is our defenses. That is our rankings. Appreciate you, as always, being the numbers guy, getting those together. Yeah. Last part of the segment of the show, guess the player. I went 4 for 5 last week. We're going to repeat that, run that back. Yeah, I don't got much to say outside of that.
Tuning in, y'all. Week 6, Guess the Player, one of our favorite segments. So we're going to get right up and into it. Dan, I got a running back, I got a quarterback, a receiver, a tight end, and a defense. You tell me you're going to pick your poison this week.
Shoosh. Let's do the defense. It's probably the hardest one.
All right, defense it is. This defense currently DST2, total of 47 points. They scored 13, won 13 again, 5 and 15 points. They average only 315 yards per game, only 17 points per game. They got a defensive touchdown, 14 sacks, 6 picks, 2 fumbles forced and recovered, and 2 blocks. Now, again, they're currently DST2. Last year, they finished as DST23 with 89 total points. They were averaging 361 yards per game, 24.5 points per game. They had a defensive touchdown last year, 36 sacks, 16 picks, 18 fumbles forced, 9 fumbles recovered, and 1 block. No safeties.
Houston.
Nope.
I thought they were 17 right now. I remember hearing somebody was 17 a game. I thought it was Houston. No, it's the Chargers. My fault.
The Chargers were 17 a game before this. What was it? Herbert, and then the Commanders, and then it was somebody. I think the Giants might have put up a little bit of points, but it was around that before when the Chargers had it. But no, it's not the Chargers. Good guess though.
I felt good. All right, 2 strikes. One more guess. It's not Houston or LA.
It is a blue team. I'll give you that.
Indy.
Yeah, it was a good pick.
Yes.
Your next choice. Go ahead. Position.
Running back.
Currently, this player is RB10. He has he's a total of 71 points on the season. He's scored 17.1, 15.9, 11.6, 19, and 7.3. He has 77 rushing attempts for 443 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging 5.8 yards per carry. He got 14 targets, 9 catches for 41 yards, and a touchdown. On the year, he has 7 red zone touches. Versus last year, he was RB 36. He finished. He only had a total of 110.7 points, 150 rushes for 258 yards and 2 touchdowns, 3.7 yards per carry, 52 targets turns into 39 receptions for 254 yards and 12 red zone touches.
So it was a low production guy last year. Uptick a lot this year. Makes me think he's the byproduct of an injury.
I was actually looking to confirm. I believe he did get injured last year. Believe so. Just double check for you.
Can you say his current stats one more time, please?
Yeah, RB 10 currently.
RB10 currently.
He has 70 0.9 points total score on the year.
Yeah.
He is scoring. He had scored 17.1, 15.9, 11.6, 19, and then 7.3. He has 77 rushes for 443 yards, 2 touchdowns, 14 targets for 9 catches and 41 yards, and a receiving touchdown. He has 7 red zone touches on the year. And then last year, he was RB36 finished. Only 110.7 points, 150 rushes, 258 yards, 2 TDs, 3.7 yard per carry, 52 targets for 39 catches, 254 yards, and 12 red zone touches.
Rico Dowdle?
Close, but someone along that line, very similar, kind of from last year, who had a really bad year. This player looks like he missed 2 games last year, actually. So he only missed 2, but he played throughout the season. He missed 2 games.
RB10?
Mm-hmm.
I can get this. All right. AFC South. Boom, boom. Boom. What's the other team in that division? Nick Chubb?
Mm-mm.
Okay. No, he was out.
You're
the
like,
entire
you're
year.
heating up, though.
All right. That's 2 strikes, though. One more strike. NFC, boom, boom. Southwest. South. Stick with the South for a second. No.
Stick with the South.
Okay, right. All right. Falcons, Buccaneers.
I didn't tell you what conference, but stick in the South.
Okay. AFC South. Titans, Jags, Etienne.
There it is. Yeah, ETN. Yep. He had a terrible year last year. I don't know what was he on. This year he's humming.
Let's go. I just had to get in the bag for that one.
Receiver, tight end, or quarterback?
Tight end.
This one's hard. This one is currently tight end 37 on the year. He scored 0, 4, 0 again, 2.4, and 10. He has a total of 16.5 points on the year. He also has 16 targets, 10 catches for 115 yards, no touchdowns. Last year, he had a surprising tight end 13 finish with a total of 111 points, 111.1 points, 87 targets for 59 catches, 600 flat receiving yards, 4 touchdowns, and 11 red zone targets. He actually had a random carry for -4 yards, so throw that in there. But now he's currently tight end 30, so he's like non-existent until this past weekend.
Non-existent until this past weekend should help me.
And he's in a contract year.
Contract year. Non-existent. Multiple stinkers. TJ Hawkinson.
Close. Good guess, though.
Strike 1. Okay. Zach Ertz. Strike 2.
Currently tight end 37, so he's doing nothing until this
Oh,
past
nothing until this past week.
Last year he had kind of like a breakout coming into his own little. I wouldn't say breakout, but he had a good, strong season last year. Like randomly too. Like I didn't hear about him until someone got hurt and then he started stepping up.
Yankees are getting absolutely destroyed.
We did see this player play.
K-Dot?
K-Dot. That was gonna be. I was gonna say it's gonna be hard. Like he's tight end 37 this year, and I had a double take. I was like, what? But he's really been doing nothing.
That was two strike hits right there.
Yeah, that is trust me, that one was deep. That was a good one.
That was a good one. I didn't know he was top 10. Shout out to K-Dot.
No, he was 13 last year, But I actually liked him headed into the season. In the preseason episode, I thought he was like a sleeper, but no.
All right, running back.
We did that. Sorry, receiver.
Oh, I mean, my bad. Oh, okay.
One more. Sorry. All right, we'll just do the receiver. Currently, receiver 6. He scored 4.5, 15.3, 15.3 again, 29.4, and 12.7. He has a total of 77.2 points on the year, 37 targets, 23 catches, 357 yards, but 5 touchdowns, 8 red zone targets. He's currently the wide receiver 6. Last year, he finished at wide receiver 42. 103 targets, 59 catches for 900 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns, and only 13 red zone attempts. He had 2 rushes for -6 yards.
What number wide receiver is he?
He currently number 6.
That would be. No, I know this. It's George Pickens?
George Pickens. Smooth.
Come on.
It's a good pick. That was Guess the Player for the Week, y'all. Dan, as always, comes with it.
4 for 4.
He comes through sliding on it, so I appreciate y'all. Are we rapping?
Yeah, Rap City. Maybe we could, maybe we'll post the 5th for y'all to guess yourselves. Maybe we'll do that. Or maybe we'll add it to the episode. We'll figure it out. Whatever. Anyway, we appreciate y'all. Shout out to my Lord and Savior.
For sure.
Call your mom, father, cousin, brother, sister, auntie, grandma. Make sure you tell them you love them. Jared, any quick shout outs from you?
No. Actually, shout out to that commercial I saw that is embarrassing the Jets with that coach speak, because that's what we need more. We need more embarrassment. So shout out anything embarrassing the Jets, because that's what we need, because I don't know what's going on, but that's all I got to say about the Jets these days, man.
We appreciate y'all as always. Keep it brief this week. Love y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Again, comment on this video, comment on my social, comment on Jared's social for your way to enter the giveaway officially. So we don't want to miss anybody, don't want to forget anybody. So enter and you'll see. Live from the 856 as always. It's channel 856. Y'all be safe. Have a good week. God bless.